Fentanyl can treat severe pain, say from cancer, but the opioid is also the primary driver of overdose deaths in the United States. Since 2000, more than 1 million people in the country have died from drug overdose. For the first time, Washington has indicted several Chinese companies and individuals over fentanyl chemical trafficking. Beijing has refuted the allegations, saying scapegoating will not solve the U.S. drug problem. What's behind the fentanyl crisis in America, and where are the pain points when it comes to drug control?
Every community across our nation is now a border community because of the deadly fentanyl pouring through our open borders under the failed leadership of President Joe Biden and Secretary Mayorkas. Since October, Customs and Border Patrol agents have seized over 14,000 pounds of fentanyl, enough to kill over 3.1 billion people. That's why today the House will be voting for the Halt Fentanyl Act.
The House in May passed the Halt All Lethal Tracking of Fentanyl Act with a bipartisan vote. America desperately needed a bill that would define fentanyl-related substance, or FRS, as having no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. Synthetic opioids in 2021 alone caused more than 70,000 deaths. The most recent year data is available. In 2023, those drugs lead to an average of 3,400 emergency room visits and 190 fatal overdoses each day. Mr. Mayorkas, the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary, admitted fentanyl overdose the single greatest challenges Americans face as a country.
Is it Americans' addiction? Is it the Mexican government's inability or, frankly, passe relationship with the cartels? Or is it the fact that China so easily exports these materials?
Chuck, it's a matter of supply and it's a matter of demand. No different than the scourge of drugs that has afflicted this country for decades. But I will tell you something, because I was a federal prosecutor for 12 years. I prosecuted cocaine trafficking cases, methamphetamine, black tar heroin. We haven't seen anything like fentanyl. Its toxicity. These cartels are peddling in death and destruction. But we have to stop the flow of fentanyl, and we also have to address the demand.
While the bill waits to become the law, more than 150 groups urged Congress to vote no, arguing its class-wide scheduling approach chokes off medical use, research of FRS, and allows for potential miscarriages of justice. But if you heard the story of Uskins and Drake, a feature from the New York Times this week, the debate may have ended for you. It wrote, "Together, they curse the doctors who first prescribed them opiates to treat their injuries, and the drug companies that knowingly flooded the market with addictive products, and the cartels that manufactured and shipped millions of doses from Mexico to Oklahoma, and the street dealers who cut fentanyl into other drugs to get more people hooked, and the realities of life on America's margins that kept them going back to those dealers to dull their pain, loneliness, and disappointment again and again." In his interview with Newsweek last year, then Chinese ambassador to the U.S. Qin Gang told U.S. media that China on May 1, 2019 permanently scheduled all FRS, the first country in the world to do so. The U.S. stopped short of doing the same. Qin also dismissed opinion articles claiming that China has been sending those chemicals to North America and stifling international efforts as misleading. The incumbent Chinese foreign minister said his country has never received information from Mexico on the use of Chinese chemicals for drug production, nor has the U.S. provided any evidence about the flow of chemicals into Mexico for fentanyl production. But he offered advice to Mr. Biden, including to step up law enforcement operations, strengthening border control, enhance oversight of fentanyl and other synthetic drugs, penalize overprescription and overdose, and raise public awareness. Above all, it is high time for the United States to permanently schedule fentanyl-related substances.